Hello Internet, my name is Dan. I actually prefer Daniel, but I don't want to be one of those guys who insists O'Brien, and this is Obsessive Pop Culture Disorder, the only show that financially rewards whatever so far still undiagnosed social disease I have that forces me to get consumed and then ruined by the pop culture artifacts that I love the most. Still no official name for that disease yet, but fingers crossed for Strasburger's Park. Anyway, this episode's about... Oh, come on, really? I love superheroes. They're the only movies we're allowed to make now. If we attack them and cut them down... Okay. We're all having a good time here. Everything's fine. Let's get into it. When a pretend person decides to don a scary mask and grapple crime, there's a universal assumption that their methods, no matter how debatable, are sending criminals to jail. Right? Ends do stuff to the means and junk like that. For example, this scene from The Dark Knight. Boom! Bite out of crime taken. Then what happens?
Don't let me find you out here again.
We're trying to help you.
I don't need help.
Alright, he just bounces. After smashing through public property, blowing up some cars, beating up dogs, and slamming around like a maniac, Wacky Bruce just leaves the gang of drug dealers and vigilantes alone in a garage, presumably for the police to find and... let go? I'm not a lawman, but I'm pretty sure that being beaten and tied up in a parking structure that is or was drug adjacent isn't in and of itself a crime. If I was a cop and I came across a beaten and gagged scared person, I wouldn't think, drug dealer. I'd think, victim of different crime, we should help.
What's the difference between you and me?
Seriously. Besides the hockey pants, what is the difference between him and those gun-toting vigilantes? The only contrast I see is that Bats causes way more property damage before making every scrap of evidence inadmissible in court because the crime scene's been contaminated by a stranger in a go-go gadget gimp suit. And everything I've just said here applies to literally every other costumed crime fighter.
Jimmy, how'd Lex Luthor get out of prison?
Why?
Well, the appeals court called Superman as a witness, and he wasn't around.
This one scene means everybody Superman has ever caught never went to jail. He's just an immortal alien playing cop, and we're all humoring him because we know he can tear us in half like a bushel of celery. And I don't want to get too technical with my next point, but I organize my life in such a way that allows me to have a show where I don't have to answer to anyone because I don't like being told what to do. And at any rate, by the time you see this video, I'll have already filmed it, meaning you couldn't stop me even if you wanted to, which you don't because you love me. It's true, me saying that means it's canon, you love me, so I will get technical because I lied before. I do want to get technical. Dear Spider-Man, the average response time to a 911 call in New York City is just under 7.5 minutes. Spider-Sense, lightning-quick reflexes, and the ability to avoid all non-bird traffic put Spider-Man's response time to an in-progress crime closer to, let's say, 2 to 3 minutes, which sounds like it would save a lot of time, except Spider-Man leaves his criminals in webs throughout the city. Montage of that so Daniel can breathe. That webbing made of a high tensile steel is strong, stronger than something you or I as non-Spider-Men and women can rip apart. The web is designed to dissolve after about 2 hours, which means that's how much time NYPD cops need to wait around for every case involving Spider-Man's webbing. Spider-Man stopped Dr. Octopus and the police couldn't. That's true. But it's also true that half the police force was tied up waiting around 2 hours for every single criminal trapped in, and occasional bullet train riding bystander saved by Spidey's webbing. Occupying that much police time on every case couldn't possibly make the streets safer. Spider-Man is awful. This sucks. I said I didn't want to do this. All right, it's time for the Marvel Movie Maniac Lightning Round, brought to you by Irish Spring Soap. Irish Spring Soap. Put it on ya, not in ya. Did we not? I don't see it. Did we not get the Irish Spring? No sponsors at all? What do they say? Something about my face, voice, and the way I say things? Okay, what a... Across the board objectionable on all, okay. Good note. Deep note. Good note. All right, f it. Irish Spring is a soap for shitheads. We'll edit this out. Okay, so let's take a moment to go through every Marvel villain since the cinematic universe started. Obadiah Stane, Tony Stark's jealous business partner wearing a robot suit based on Tony's design. Abomination, an ogre created with the Hulk's blood. Ivan Whiplash, Vanko, a Russian maniac angry at Tony's father and funded by Tony's rival. Loki, Thor's jealous alien brother who tries to kill him on Earth after Thor was expelled here for being a smug dick. Red Skull, a Red Skull gentleman made with the same super serum for Captain America. Loki, again. Phase 2, Killian, a tech genius Tony Stark stood up on some hotel roof. Malekith, an elf man awakened by Thor's lady friend f***ing with portals. Bucky, Buckster the Winner, Buddy, Captain America's friend who got brainwashed by Hydra who was secretly S.H.I.E.L.D. Ronan, a blue man who was after Peter Quill for stealing some magic orb. Ultron, an evil robot / Pinocchio fan that Tony Stark created himself. Darren Cross, former protege to Hank Pym who was obsessed with getting Hank's approval and recreating his shrinking suit. And finally, that little guy in Civil War whose family was killed when the Avengers fought the evil robot that Tony Stark created. I need water. My point here is that nearly every villain in the Avengers universe exists either because the hero did something to piss them off first, or through the same magical technology that allowed the good guy to exist in the first place. Meaning that the world would be objectively better if humanity simply didn't try to create people weapons in the first place. When you really dig into it, even the forming of the Avengers is like some crazy MC Escher logic, starting with the ending of Iron Man.
I'm here to talk to you about the Avenger Initiative.
He said, having no knowledge that Captain America would be unfrozen, or that aliens exist, or that Hydra was back, or having any reason to want a superpowered A-team. What was Nick's original plan here? Have the Hulk smash ISIS? He's like the Krieger of S.H.I.E.L.D., toiling away with his kooky crime-fighting team that just happens to be needed. And by just happens, I mean Nick Fury created the need for them when he let Loki back into our world with the Tesseract. Thanks, Nick. You're only slightly better than Superman, who managed to explode the city of Gotham because he sent out a beacon that attracted Zod to Earth. That movie f***ing sucked. I'm back on board. This is fun again. Let's say you're a billionaire living in some swampy concrete jungle filled with crime and poverty. How do you fix the situation? Do you use your money to create better schools and community centers? Perhaps build some kind of cheap public transportation in the form of a dangerously elevated monorail system?
Did you build this train, Dad?
People less fortunate than us have been enduring very hard times. So we built a new, cheap public transportation system.
Or option B, you spend all your money on an elaborate underground lair where you tear up rooftops with your Ferrari tank as you try to personally punch every criminal until your presence attracts higher scale crime and turns everyday city life into a roulette of tragedy while dressed nothing like a bat, by the way. Nothing like a bat. Am I crazy? Why aren't we talking about this? Yeah, he chose that one, by the way. Hey, Bruce, remember when your company was funding things like orphanages before it ran out of money because you were spending all your time fighting a clown? Maybe there's a lesson to be had from all this. I mean, you could power the entire city with your arc reactor alone, so perhaps— oh wait, no, sorry. That's the other billionaire who uses all of his money to personally fight crime instead of helping the world through some practical method.
Stark Tower is about to become a beacon of self-sustaining clean energy.
Hey, T. Stark, how's that fully sustainable city powering reactor going? You know, the one you've been talking about for like 10 films. But I guess you've got better things to invent, like hovercraft aircraft carriers and bizarrely specific Iron Man watch gloves. Oh, hey, what you got there? Some kind of extremely advanced holographic computer and AI? Care to share that with the rest of the world, or— never mind. Guess we still have regular old bullshit computers and cars that don't hover or run on sustainable power. It's cool, bro. It's not like you can invent an army of robots to fix all the buildings you blew up after swearing to not blow things up anymore.
I came to realize that I have more to offer this world than just making things that blow up.
The only reason that superhero universes seem like fun places to live is because we're seeing them through the eyes of the superpowered. Take your Avengers, Justice League, X-Men, or whatever Team Blade is on, and imagine them from the civilian perspective. Suddenly, they are less like a squad of saviors and more like horsemen of a really strange apocalypse where a big green giant might suddenly burst through your livelihood for reasons unknown. Do you think insurance is going to cover a projectile science monster careening through your windshield? Or do you have to buy the separate superhero coverage instead? What's that like? Sorry, we can't cover the Punisher throwing a grenade in your car because you selected the superhero plan. And that guy's more of an ambiguous type, anti-hero type, so you might want to consider building some kind of mechanized suit and getting revenge instead. Or maybe rob a bank, since all the police suck now. Yeah, just shoot at that populated skyscraper. Shoot it right in its skyscraper face. No wonder crime shot way up when Peter Parker quit. I'm sure all the best cops left when Spider-Man ruined their jobs in that previous point I mentioned. At least he got rebooted into the Avengers universe, where all the police have to worry about is rubble searches and the slurry of financial suicides that must come with every major corporation becoming a jack-in-the-box for mechanized world domination.
The new Stark Industries business plan!
Yeah. Remember that scene? Kinda makes you wonder what the Mad Money episode was like after Stark Industries partially blew up because the highest in command had a robot grapple. Or when Justin Hammer built defense robots that tried to kill everyone and exploded the expo center. Or when Advanced Idea Mechanics had the mechanically advanced idea of killing the president. Must be a real comfort living in an exploding world when the vice president is hauled off for treason in the same week you find out that the most wanted terrorist was really the Mickey Mouse for what you thought was the next Google. Congratulations, superheroes. You've chosen all the biggest financial hubs in America to use as your doomsday mosh pit. Great job making every major city an elaborate Running Man game show where you're either dodging rubble or getting caught in man-sized spider webs. Congratulations, Daniel. You made yourself sad again. You ruined another thing you like. Join us next month when our topic will be a montage of coffee shop girls throughout history Daniel thought were flirting with him, but were actually just being nice. Spoilers, it was all of them? Even Cleo? No! I'll be fine. Bye. Hey everyone, thank you for watching Obsessive Pop Culture Disorder. We do it every month. Make sure you like and subscribe for more of this and more of the other kinds of things that we do. This episode was not brought to you by Irish Spring. I have no permission to mention them in it. I have no permission to mention Cleo, who's a real person, but you won't be able to track her down because she spells her name weird. Klio.